All the lovely ladies in front of me. Jim, sir, I see you too. Thank you. Giving honor to God for everything that He does for me and my family. So, I want to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, that's been on my mind, that was confirmed 3 times in 1 week. Distraction. So, I am married. I love it. I love every minute of it. I am a mother. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm an aunt, as many of you are. But I got the confirmation from my mother, Pastor Steve, on Sunday, and my husband. And I'm pulling from Genesis 3. So I went through it. I talked to my husband. I said, what do you think about distraction? A baby's everywhere. Yeah, I know. But as a woman, let's think about all the responsibilities that we have on a daily basis. I have little ones. Got to get the kids off to school, whatever it may be. Got to go to work. Got to clean the house. Got to cook dinner. Got to do laundry. Got to go to choir rehearsal, whatever it may be. We have a lot of titles. But the one title that somebody was given in Genesis 3 was not until after she messed up. Her name was Eve. So I broke down distraction into 4 different areas of Genesis 3. Just to paraphrase just a little bit. Deception, well, distraction is number 1. Deception, death, and division. So if we just go to the top of Genesis 3, now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, she didn't have a name yet, did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? The woman said to the serpent, we may eat from the trees in the garden, but did God say you must not eat from the tree that is in the middle of the garden? And you must not touch it or you will die. You will certainly die, the serpent said to the woman. Certainly not die, said the serpent to the woman. For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Let's stop right there. Eve, who was not named yet, was Adam's helpmate because God said it was not good for man to be alone, correct? Right. As a wife, what is our responsibility? To be our husband's helpmates. Well, it's hard to be a helpmate if you don't know your role, so you get distracted. Everything in life happens to everybody. Let's just think about that. What is your distraction? Eve was clearly distracted. We all have it. So let's read a little bit further. So I'm going to go to Genesis 3 and 6. When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. Let's stop there. We as women like nice things, shiny things, pretty things. Oh yeah, he bought me a new purse. Oh yeah, he bought me a new ring. I got an upgrade for my anniversary, I'm not gonna lie. But if you read a little bit further, she also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate it. That's the part where we stop. If Adam is the head of the house, as the order of God says, what was his distraction if he was right next to her? See, we always heard the story of Eve ate it, and everything was all good, and then Adam ate some, and then he blamed it on her. But he was right next to her. My husband calls me his right hand. My right hand and my left hand are right here. So what was his distraction? We don't know. But when you're out of order, the next thing happens, deception. Because after they ate from it, who came knocking? God, the one person that spent all his time. Hey, where are you guys? Where y'all at? To paraphrase it. Oh, we over here because we're naked. Huh? Who said that? from my favorite movie, Coming to America. Who told you that? So after the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. The man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And he hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you?" He even put it in order, the man and his wife. Order is important. Even when we're distracted, you still need order. Because we can't thrive in disorder. That's why it's called just like disease, dis-ease, disorder. That's a problem. So how do you expect things to stay together if you are distracted? So now everybody's thinking, what are my distractions? Is it TV? Is it social media? Who's on the gram longer than they're in their word? Let's be honest. So because of the deception, now there's death. So because of this, if you go down further in Genesis 3 and 15, and I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring. Who were their offspring? Cain and Abel. And hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. To the woman, he said, I will make your pains in childbearing, thanks a lot, very severe. With painful labor, you will give birth to children.
Oh, Lord.
Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. Think about that. How do you really feel about, let's be honest, how do you feel about your husband having rule over you? Do you really have rule over anything if God is a true king? You may call your husband king as a term of endearment, but is he really your ruler? Because if he is, you're out of order. God, husband, wife, children, everybody else, not the dog, not the cat. Because of this deception and distraction and this death, here comes the worst part, division. But because, remember, she didn't have a name. Further down in Genesis 3 and 20, Adam named his wife Eve because she would become the mother of all living things. What is your name when you are no longer who you say you are, as our guest speaker spoke of last Sunday? Who are you when you are no longer who you thought you were? Things change. Marriages end. People pass away. Job changes. Careers change. But I'm still going to be Talika at the end of the day. Because God called me February 19th, 1981 until whenever he says I'm done. But the worst part of the death, to me, past death, is division. Because once you die, now because of all this happening in the garden, we have a choice between good and evil, free will, or choosing. So in Genesis 3 and 23, the Lord God banished them from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he had been taken. After he drove the man out, see, he just went back to the man. He's not even Adam anymore. He placed on the east side of the Garden of Eden cherubim and a flaming sword, which is a pre-emanation of what hell is going to be like. Sword flashing back and forth to guard the way of the tree of life. That death and division already came. One chapter of the word can change your life. It changed all of our destinies. Now we have choices that were only supposed to be in one direction. So what are your distractions, and what's keeping you from doing what you need to do that God is telling you to do?